A founder friend asked me recently, after a year of chasing partnerships and projects, what's your most honest feeling of this mid-autumn? My answer is simple. Cherish what's in front of you. I learned this lesson through moments I can never get back. The summer before I left for university, my grandmother came to visit. The afternoon light was soft, almost like warm amber. She lay beside me and asked, almost casually, "Shall I take you to register at the university?" But at that age, my mind was filled with ambition, with the excitement of what was next. I worried she was too old for the journey, so I said no. I promised her that once I settled in, I'd bring her to see the campus. She just smiled, said no more. What I didn't know then was that this would be our real last conversation, our final complete goodbye. There's no later for some promises. Years later, when I faced the darkest valley of my professional life, a mentor appeared. When I saw only failure in the data points of my journey, he reminded me that he saw a flower blooming, a rising sun. We didn't meet in boardrooms, we met on walks. Because of his back pain, he couldn't sit long. So, our most important conversations happened under trees, step by step, as if strategy and soul needed open air to breathe. When I launched my startup, he fell gravely ill, and in an act of extraordinary kindness, he chose silence. He didn't want me distracted. By the time I returned from a business trip and rushed to his hospital bed, the man who once stood almost 2 meters tall had wasted away to a shadow. He could barely turn his head, so I had to stood at the foot of his bed just so our eyes could meet. We had known each other for more than a decade, and yet we never took a single photo together, always waiting for a better time, a day when we weren't rushing, when life wasn't so busy. But that day never came. And then there was my dog, Bubble. Every time I caught my parents on video, she would shove her head into the screen, as if competing to see whose face was bigger. On our walks, Bubble always positioned herself on the street side. Without words, she would gently nudge me toward the inside of the sidewalk, a silent, furry guardian. And sometimes she'd turn her head back with a look that seemed to say, "Don't fall behind." Through every triumph and setback, she was there, meeting me with unconditional joy, or simply sitting beside me when the joy wasn't possible. Her short life told me a definition of love and loyalty I couldn't have learned anywhere else. Why am I sharing this? Because we're trained to live in the future, especially founders and investors. We plan for scale, for what's next, for what's bigger. But life is happening right now. The truth is, what sustains us is never the grand narrative. It's the sunlight on a summer afternoon, a mentor's quiet words on a walk, a wagging tail that says, "I'm with you." So, let me leave you with one question. Who or what deserves your attention right now, before later becomes late? In the end, our legacy is not only what we build, but also the moments we choose to live.